Antoinette.
I believe you absolutely have a place on our TV screens, and I see Dad is with you. And that's amazing, because when I wanted to be a journalist, my dad told me to be a hairdresser instead. So it's amazing that Dad is here to support you. Look, there's no doubt there's a long way to go in terms of our newsrooms being inclusive. I've worked alongside some trainees or people doing internships who wear hijabs. I haven't seen them return to television, especially not in the commercial world. I believe in Canada, for example, and also in New Zealand, we have seen women, Islamic women, with headscarves on primetime television. But what our report has found is that Australia has a pretty long way to go in terms of catching up.
What does this do to the way Australia is reflected back to itself?
Well, obviously it has a trickle-down effect on which stories are told, how they're framed, which stories are selected, the voices that are put forward. Too often we see on all the networks, including the ABC, which we saw at Insiders after the Black Lives Matter protests, panels which are 100% white, commenting on issues that affect multicultural Australia, commenting on refugees, commenting on Black Lives Matter protests, commenting on immigration policy. And I guess I liken it to a cooking show. You wouldn't have a cooking show and a panel of experts where no one is a chef or no one knows how to cook. But for some reason, when it comes to news and current affairs, we think it's acceptable to not have diverse voices. So I believe that really limits public discourse. Audiences are missing out.
30 years after, they earned it as a primary carer when they could have also earned compound interest from that day.
Well, the flip side to that is, rather than just encouraging or putting quotas in STEM careers or on construction sites, should women not want those jobs, because remember, it's about being equal, not identical, we can also look to jobs like carers, education, where women are drawn to, and remunerate and pay better there.
So as an economy, we still actually haven't put a value on the
care.
price of care.
Exactly. He's been a fan since he was a schoolboy, so was thrilled over the win and even threw his cap into the air. Look, I'm no sports fan. The last time I got this excited was actually last week when I got a Costco membership.
Really?
And I went and bought my body weight in Omo. And it was just like...
amazing. It's satisfying.
It was, I mean, I think it's only comparable to when I had my children. I've never been so happy to buy things in bulk that I don't actually need.
No,
Exactly.
I'm all in.
Now, as we know, the new school year is back in full swing, and this means mums, and to their credit, some dads in SUVs are screeching around suburbia as they bolt to keep up with the Joneses of extracurricular activities. So cue the overbooked child, the child whose spare time is filled with sports practice, tutoring sessions and music lessons. And that's when they're not at after-school care until 6 p.m. It comes as critical literacy and numeracy skills of Australian students are languishing, and against a backdrop of increasing parental resistance to homework. And it was when Gillette introduced the razor in 1915, did the discussion about body hair for females being undesirable, and so that was marketed as a representation of beauty, that if you know, look, I have a Middle Eastern background, and I was very happy when laser was introduced because it got rid of a lot of hair where it shouldn't have been for a woman.
Like on your back.
Sure, Denise, sure.